Hi and welcome back to the channel. In this video I will analyze a full game from a PSA women's match in real time, and at the end, as before, I will also show you some game stats. The game we will watch is from the Gouna International Open 2021 women's final between Nour Sherbini and Nouran Gohar, and the video is taken from PSA SquashTV. Before we start, I would encourage you to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications if you would like to get notified of more content like this. And also comment, like and share the video if you find it valuable. I would also like to say a big thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. It really means a lot to me. For you to get the most out of this video, I would encourage you to draw your attention to the serve and return of serve, styles of play, and tactics and strategies. Okay, let's get right into it. Gohar kicks things off with a tight and deep serve, and as they rally on the left wall, you will notice how Sherbini is trying to mix things up with lifted drives and cross court because Gohar seems to be focused on just hitting the ball hard. And as a result, when she gets the opportunity, her volley drop is hit too hard, and Sherbini quite comfortably resets the rally with the cross-court lob and continues to vary her shots, which eventually gives a loose ball which she punishes. A tight serve from Sherbini this time, and Gohar sprays her drive trying to force things and concedes a stroke. Gohar steps forward to volley the return this time and continues to force the pace while Sherbini is varying the pace. And the powerful forehand cross-court from Gohar forces a loose drive from Sherbini, which is dispatched with another low cross-court. Sherbini volley drives the return but is a bit loose. Gohar attacks with her low drives, which forces another loose drive from Sherbini, but the rally continues this time for a few more shots. And Gohar's backhand crosscourt catches the nick. A good serve from Gohar here, and Sherbini chooses to boast. Both players playing at a very high tempo in this rally with a mixture of deep and short drives. Sherbini lobs to slow it down, and Gohar's cross-court is slightly overhit and gives Sherbini enough space to go short and force the error. Gohar's return pops out and Sherbini attacks with a low drive, which puts Gohar under pressure, but Sherbini isn't able to capitalize on it, and the rally continues. Sherbini boasts and Gohar's cross-court is too wide, and this time Sherbini ensures that she converts. Nice deep serve from Sherbini. Gohar is too short and Sherbini punishes her and creates the opportunity for the cross-court nick. Gohar more careful on the return this time. Sherbini still mixing it up, but her volley ends up loose here and Gohar does well to put the ball away. Sherbini attacks with a volley drop and Gohar responds with a good lob to reset the rally. Sherbini's drive too tight at the end, forcing the error. Gohar volleys the return and Sherbini uses her forehand boast again to put Gohar on the defense, and she keeps her under pressure the whole rally and earns the stroke. Gohar overhits her cross-court but manages to get herself back in the rally. A long rally building up here and a good opportunity to observe the different types of drives being used by the two players. Sherbini going for a short across court and then back to length. A loose drop and Gohar goes for back-to-back triple post and makes an error. Gohar volleys, but her cross-court is too wide. Sherbini's forehand cross-court puts Gohar under pressure. A nice delay, but Sherbini's volley drop is loose and the rally resets. Sherbini working the post on the backhand this time. Narrow cross-court volleyed by Gohar and the loose ball put into space, forcing the error. Good serve from Gohar and Sherbini's cross-court slightly overhit and Gohar kills the ball. Sherbini injecting more pace in her shots in this rally and looking more urgent because Gohar won the last two rallies. Gohar sprays her drive and Sherbini capitalizes and converts. Gohar injecting more pace in this rally and going for some shots. She wants to close the gap between them since we are in the latter stages of the game. Sherbini overhits her cross-court lob and Gohar puts the ball away. Good serve from Gohar, but she's a bit late on the next shot. Sherbini holds, but Gohar does well to reset the rally and a backhand cross-court ends the rally. Sherbini once again injecting more pace and looking more urgent as she lost the last 2 points, and Gohar unable to return the forehand cross-court. Game ball to Sherbini. She has shifted gears here. Gohar attacking and giving everything she has. But Sherbini with some great choices and quality is able to finish the rally and come out on top. That's the end of the game. Next we will have a look at the points table, summarize the areas we were paying attention to, and then go through the game stats. Looking at the points table, pay attention to runs of points and you'll notice that Sherbini had 2 runs of 3 points while Gohar had none. A run of 3 points is huge in squash, and as much as you should try to have runs of 3 points or more, you should also prevent your opponent from doing the same. In summary, the quality of serves and returns of serve were quite high. Both players did not make any errors with either of these shots. However, I would have liked to have seen more variety on the serves. When considering their styles of play, you would notice that Gohar is a power player who relies on her drives and volley drives to apply pressure, with the occasional post or drop. On the other hand, Sherbini is a more complete player who uses a variety of different shots, changes the pace, and uses deception. Gohar's tactics and strategies included starting at a high tempo and taking time away from Sherbini from the beginning by taking the ball early and injecting pace whenever possible. To counter this, Sherbini used more variety in her shots, slowed things down at times, took a step back on the tee, and worked Gohar to the front with posts and drops from the back third. As a result, all of Gohar's points were won with some type of drive or volley drive, while Sherbini won points all around the court. Now we have some basic game stats. The duration of the game was 11 minutes and 18 seconds. However, the playing time was 7 minutes and 25 seconds, and there was also a delay of 1 minute early on in the game. The number of winners in total were 11. Sherbini had 5 and Gohar had 6. The number of errors were 5. Sherbini had 1 and Gohar had 4. The number of strokes in the game was 2. Sherbini had both of them while Gohar had none. By looking at these stats, you could gather even though both players almost had the same number of winners, the number of errors and the number of strokes were quite significantly in favor of Sherbini. Next we look at some stats from the rallies. The total number of rallies in the game were 18. In those 18 rallies, the two players exchanged 262 shots. The average rally length was 14.56 shots. The average rally time was 24.72 seconds. And the average rest in between rallies was 10.18 seconds. The longest rally in the game was 27 shots and a duration of 41 seconds. The shortest rally in the game was 3 shots with a duration of 6.7 seconds. Next we look at returns of serve. The number of returns that were volleyed were 9. Sherbini 3 out of 8 and Gohar 6 out of 10. The number that were deep was 15. Sherbini 6 out of 8 and Gohar 9 out of 10. The number that was short was 3. Sherbini 2 out of 8 and Gohar 1 out of 10. Straight returns were 10. Sherbini 5 out of 8 and Gohar 5 out of 10. Cross-court returns were 8. Sherbini 3 out of 8 and Gohar 5 out of 10. From these stats, we can tell that Gohar is more likely to volley on the return of serve, while Sherbini might let the ball bounce or go back to the back wall when she returns. We can also see that the majority of the returns from both players were deep, emphasizing that they were both doing that to gain a good position in front of the opponent on the tee. At the same time, even though there were only 3 short returns of serve, Sherbini's 2 was out of 8 attempts to return serve, while Gohar's was 1 out of 10. So the percentage would be 25% of the time for Sherbini and 10% of the time for Gohar, which means Sherbini is more likely to take the ball short on the serve than Gohar. With the straight returns as well, even though they both have 5 each, Sherbini's 5 was in 8 returns of serve, while Gohar's was in 10, which shows that Sherbini is more likely to go straight on her return of serve than Gohar. And also with the cross court, Sherbini 3 out of 8 and Gohar 5 out of 10. Quite close, but Gohar is more likely to go cross court on her returns of serve over Sherbini. Now we look at some stats on the drives. There were a total number of 195 drives in the game. The number of straight drives was 114, while the number of cross-court drives was 81. The number of deep drive was 160, and the number of short drives was 35. And if you look at the percentages, you will notice that the majority of the drives were deep. And if you also look at the total number of drives, which is at about 80%, that number is very high as well. Once again, emphasizing on the back third of the court and getting the ball into the back third of the court to gain control of rallies and the team. Next, we look at some stats on the volleys. There were a total number of 30 volleys in the game. 10 of them were on the forehand and 20 of them were on the backhand. 17 of them were deep and 13 of them were short. Percentage wise, the total number of volleys seems to be quite low. This could be for multiple reasons, such as the tempo, the height of drives on the front wall, how much pace was injected into the drives, for example. You will also notice that the number of volleys on the backhand are higher. This would be because the majority of the rallies would happen on the left wall when two right-handed players are playing, and therefore there would be more opportunities to volley on the backhand over the forehand. You will also notice that the number of deep volleys and short volleys are closer as opposed to when considering drives, because players would be more attacking when volleying than when driving. Finally, we have some stats on the other types of shots that were used in the game. There were 17 posts, 13 drops, 10 lobs, 2 kills, and 6 other shots that were used in the game. When you look at the percentages of these shots, you will notice that they are quite low when considering the number of drives that were used in the game, and these were the numbers that were used by both players, which means if you take the number for each player, it would be lower than this as well. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you watched it to the very end, please take a moment to comment, like, share, subscribe and turn on notifications if you liked the video and if you would like to see more content of this type. And I'll see you next time.